right. Yeah, so I think we can get started. I see lots of people are flying in right now. Again, just a reminder for those that just joined us, just wanted to quickly point out our questions tab on the bottom right. So if you do have any questions throughout today's webinar, we of course will make every effort to get those answered for you, as well as during our Q&A towards the end of today's webinar. Also, in an effort to get a better understanding of who you are, who our attendees are, and what we should really focus on today, you're going to notice some pop-up polls throughout today's webinar as well. So if you could participate in the polls and provide some intel and knowledge for us, that'll be much appreciated. So hello again to everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Frank Bosi. I am the Senior Director of Business Development here at Hostfully, along with Aaron Fisher, aka Fish, who's our business development representative, and Mitch Foster, who's our manager of partnerships and acquisition and partnerships and integrations. Also, we are joined by Mr. Alex Aliotto, who is the head of growth and partnerships at Whimstay. Alex, we're really excited to have you and your insight on today's webinar. And just as an FYI to the audience, Whimstay is one of our most strategic channels in assisting with elevating your bookings and your business and optimizing your vacation rentals, specifically by harnessing the power of last-minute bookings. But again, today we're going to be learning about how to identify and capitalize on revenue opportunities, fill occupancy gaps effectively, and enhance the guest experience through Whimstay's exceptional last-minute deals. Before we jump into our discussion, I did want just to quickly let you know a little bit more about Hostfully for those who are not familiar. We are a vacation rental property management software that helps you run your business from tip to tail. We essentially strive to help the vacation rental companies and property managers make more money, increase revenue, and just streamline and automate your day-to-day operations, while at the same time improving the overall traveler experience. Now, Hostfully has two platforms, and these are both completely standalone platforms. You have the property management platform and the digital guidebook. They're both fully integrated. So you're, of course, more than welcome to use both of them together, but you also have the option to use just the property management software and just the digital guidebook. On the property management platform side, we have direct integrations with major OTAs, Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, and a bunch of other channels as well, including the wonderful and fantastic Whimstay, aside from your direct booking channel. So Hostfully will be your central software and hub in managing all of those reservations. We have a great pipeline feature, which is unique to the industry as well. And here is where you're going to see all of your guests and exactly where they are in the process of their booking. And you're going to basically manage your operations in different ways other than with other software. We have a really nice out-of-the-box direct booking site available to all of our users. Also included in our software are automatic messages, both email and text, reports, analytics, payment processors, our wonderful new unified inbox and mobile app, and a whole lot more to help your vacation business grow. We then also have the standalone digital guidebook platform. This is really unique. It's a beautiful platform. We really focus on enhancing the guest experience. We make it easy for you to share important information to your guest about their trip, like check-in details, directions, house manual information, and all of your favorite recommendations. Again, this aims in boosting the guest experience. It cuts down on communication, and it also has the ability to get you more 5-star reviews. On the property management platform, we've also been winning awards. We're super excited. It's been great. We won Matt Landau's VRMB Keystone Award the first year they had it for the best vacation rental software. And then we won again the year after that as the best property management software to grow with, specifically, making us back-to-back winners. Just recently, we won the Shorty's 2022 award as the best property management software. And we've also been recognized and nominated once again this year for the Shorty's 2023 award. One of the main evaluators, Terry White, said that Hostfully is one of the best softwares, period, I have ever seen. So that means a lot coming from Terry. Over to the guidebooks, we have the same thing on this side. Erica here is a client of ours and basically said, she has the same view as many of our other clients. Here she stated that the guidebook totally blew her away. We saved her a ton of time, and also that the guidebook is more professional than your Word document or PDF that you're currently leaving in your units. So if you haven't tested out Hostfully's guidebook yet, we have free trials for all of our guidebook subscriptions. And we also offer one free guidebook to everyone who does want to kick the tires and test it out. Not only do we have an incredible platform, but we have beautiful, not only do we have the platform and our guidebooks, but we also have a great learning opportunities and resources. We have reports, webinars. We have a variety of these resources and reports available on our website, which I encourage you all to go out and check out at your leisure. We have a ton to offer you there, along with blog posts, case studies, articles, webinars. If you do want any additional information on any of our products, the guidebook, the software, please feel free to reach out to me or Aaron directly. We're always happy to coordinate and schedule a personalized one-on-one demo with you. But that is enough about Hostfully. I'm sure y'all are really here to learn more about Whimstay and last-minute bookings and their strategies. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Mr. Alex Aliotto. Alex, we're super stoked to be an official partner and a direct integration with you and Whimstay. We're also really excited to share some of the learnings that we've received from your team. So feel free to take it from here.
Awesome. Frank, thank you so much. Just before we start, it's always, we love our partnerships. Our partnership with Hostfully is a really special one. The people at this company go above and beyond. And in addition to that, the technology of this platform is just fabulous. So for those of you that are using Hostfully, I'll say bravo, you've made a very good choice. We love the people, we love the tech. I'm going to get in a little bit as we kind of get through this thing a little. I'm going to talk a little too about direct bookings, right? And how, what ways we can get more direct bookings, or ways you guys can get more direct bookings. And, Hostfully with this guidebook thing, I'll tell you, it's really unique and it's a really unique, awesome value add. So just across the board, not only am I happy and proud of this partnership, but I'm super stoked to talk about this, what I think is a pretty relevant subject right now. So my camera's not working, so I don't know if you can't see my face. I don't think you're missing anything, frankly. But at any rate, I apologize. Just know that I'm smiling most of the time. So we'll get into this sucker right now. Let me kind of say this before we get going. We are thinking a very unique time in this industry. And I think that a couple of years ago, we experienced as an industry a pretty massive boom, the likes of which obviously none of us had ever seen before. And life and business is about valleys and it's about troughs, right? And so a lot of folks right now are experiencing, I think, what would be considered a trough, right? And I think what we're seeing is that booking pace is down. No question about it, right? For a lot of folks, most of the folks that I speak to, it might not be you. And if it's not, awesome. And if it is, awesome. And I'll tell you why in a minute, right? As we kind of get into it. But so there are valleys, there are peaks, and there are valleys. And so, and I think right now we're in a little bit of a valley, okay? And so as we see booking pace is probably down, the other thing that we're starting to notice is that booking windows are squeezed, right? ADRs are squeezed, but booking windows especially are squeezed. So if some of you are not seeing maybe bookings that you thought you would be seeing in July, it doesn't necessarily mean those bookings aren't coming. It just means they might be coming around late June and in July. And so what we want to talk about today is how do we start to maximize on not only those gap nights, but maximizing that last minute window, right? And what we can start to do is now we can start to add some tools into our toolbox so that when there is a peak again, and there will be a peak, this industry will start to see bookings go up again. When there is, we've already prepared. Now we're able to kind of fill gaps, and we've kind of got those tools sort of going for us, so that not only are we getting the bookings that we've always getting, but now we're getting additional ones, incremental revenue and incremental travelers. So, all right, enough of that nonsense. Let's get into this thing. Who are we? We're Whimstay. So we are a channel, a new channel, new-ish. I'll go with new-ish channel in the space. And what we do is we help property managers earn incremental revenue and incremental travelers by filling your unsold and gap nights last minute. Pretty simple. What's our value proposition? Basically just said it for property managers: incremental revenue, incremental travelers by being able to fill your unsold nights last minute. And then for travelers, and we'll talk about why this is important, right? Like driving people, right? Is this is an opportunity for travelers who are a little bit more spontaneously minded, the opportunity to find an awesome vacation rental at a really good price. The problem, the average vacation rental occupancy rate across the country right now is about 48%. So that's low. That's low. And I think we can all probably agree on that. The solution, or certainly the solution that we are bringing to the table, we're a targeted marketplace. We are dedicated to one thing, that is filling unbooked nights last minute, right? But also off seasons, right? So shoulder seasons. Let's make shoulder season a thing of the past. Pre and post holiday periods, those dead periods generally, right? Weekdays, okay? Weekdays, last minute cancellations, that's not on there, right? The lead in into weekend and getaway type destinations, right? So again, generating incremental revenue for you guys by filling in nights that otherwise are just going to go unsold. We got to focus on flexibility is what we're going to really be talking about for the next 15, 20 minutes or so. So we don't have to get too much into these 3 points here, but we are going to talk a little bit about how we're going to be flexible with booking windows, flexible with pricing, right? These are really important things. So I think the first thing we're going to get into is discounting itself. So to discount or not, and if so, how much? Now, let me be super duper clear. I absolutely understand that their margins are low. I mean, margins are tight already. So I absolutely get it. If there is a fear around discounting, I don't think that there is that much. I know a lot of folks have these dynamic pricing tools and they understand the importance of yielding. But if it is an issue and it is something that gives you some pause or some concern, here are a couple things to think about. So this new, and by the way, you guys, the next few slides, they're going to be a lot of words, right? So, and I think the cardinal rule of a presentation is don't have a lot of words and don't just sit there and read everything. So I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna try and go through it as slowly as my Italian fast rhythm can allow me to do it, and allow you guys to read what is there and maybe just kind of point out some of the important points and probably go on a couple of tangents while we're at it. And this is another thing I think is important. Let's try and make this a conversation as much as we possibly can. So any questions you guys have, sometimes it is, this is the deal is, all the questions at the end, and sure, we'll do questions at the end. But if something comes up and someone is really interested in knowing something, just ask the question in that question box, and I will do the best that I can to answer it. If I can't get to your question now, we'll try and get to it at the end. But if we can have a dialogue as opposed to a monologue, that'd be fabulous. And then I think we do have the option of, and I noticed a couple of you guys are doing it already with the, what are they called? The emojis, the nice little, the Mark Simpson Boostly floating emojis. So there they go. Yeah, look at that. So I'll ask a couple of questions here and there. That looks like pizza, but it's not. I think it's some sort of celebratory thing. But if I'll ask a couple of questions and maybe we could do that through emojis. There's the floating multicolored pizza. Okay, so new versus older listings. I think this comes down to reviews, right? And so I think all of us can agree and know that that reviews are probably a nice driver of bookings. So a lot of folks are going to get new. You're going to go pick up new properties here and there. There was a massive rush, I would think, around COVID. People started to buy second homes before they were buying first homes, and they thought, well, I'm going to go get part of this industry, and it's going to be really passive income. And then they realized this ain't passive, and I don't want to do this anymore. And so they're giving them to property managers, and they might not have reviews on them quite yet. So the newer ones tend to maybe not get booked quite as much, just not as much content. So think about, that supply demand imbalance. Think about maybe a little bit of a higher discount on that until that one starts to get booked out and you start to get some nice content on it, right? Certain fly to and hard to get markets, those may underperform. And if you have those, you are in a fabulous spot. You have something unique, which is what travelers are looking for. That's beautiful. But sometimes we just got to start to get the folks there. And so a little bit of a longer discount window, 3 to 4 weeks, our data is showing us in some of those hard to get to, fly to markets is always a good idea, right? Last minute strategies. Let's talk about that. So here's my first foray into doing floating emojis. How many folks here have what they would consider a good last minute strategy in place? I'm going to go with sad emoji as I don't have any. That's great. And flying pizzas as well. I'll say that's good. So good. That's good. It means we got somewhere to go to, right? I think that some of the here's some last minute strategies we have to start to take notice of, and we'll start to talk about this a little bit. But first, let's talk about why it's important to have one. I always love to bring up the example of Nordstrom. So I don't know how regional Nordstrom is. I'm going to go ahead and assume everyone has Nordstrom. I'm pretty sure. But if you look at what Nordstrom has done, and a number of other companies have done this exact same thing, right? And this is sort of in the same kind of area of what we are doing. But Nordstrom figured out about 15, 20 years ago, they said, we've got all these clothes and the seasons are up. And so we've got one of two options. We can just toss them away or we can maybe give them to charity, which would be really nice. That'd be nice. I don't know if Nordstrom isn't a charity. But instead of that, they said this, you know what I'd rather do? We'd rather start to figure out ways to make money on this instead of just tossing it into the garbage. So what did they do? They built Nordstrom Rack. And so now they take all these shirts and pants and jackets and glasses and wallets and whatever, and they go and they put it into a completely different store at about 40 to 50% off of what they normally would, right? And so now what's happening is there are shoppers that are specifically saying, oh, I am going to go to Nordstrom Rack because I know I can get an awesome shirt at 40% of what I normally would, right? So since they started Nordstrom Rack, Nordstrom has doubled their revenue. So adding last minute strategies, right? Adding ways to figure out how do we get rid of this kind of this dying on the vine inventory. It's a massively important thing to do. So we're going to start to get in a little bit about options for last minute strategies. Here's some gap filling strategies, right, to consider. So selectively reducing min loss to fill gap nights. So a lot of folks have, and this might be owner dependent sometimes, right? So it's tough to say, but you might have some 7-night min losses. We've got places in the Outer Banks that are Saturday to Saturday, really strict min loss. Those are going to be a lot tougher to sell when you're looking for gap nights, obviously, right? So if you can maybe shrink your min losses a little bit, if it's an option for you, if you've got some 5-night min loss in some place and you can get it to 3 or 2 or something like that, it's always something to consider worth doing because it's just a great way to add revenue. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about what some of these average length of stays look like, right? Consider flexible cancellations for bookings made farther out, right? I know that it's a pain. I mean, we're a company that I'll tell you right now, we've got since we do last minute and we've got a short-term window, 21-day window, we've got no cancellations, right? So all sales are final. So here am I talking about flexible cancellations, but consider it for a little bit farther out, just so because it's going to get them in the door, right? At the very least, it's going to get them in the door. Showcase real-time local events. So something that is really important. Really, really important, I think. And I told you there'd be tangents. This might be a little bit of a tangent. I think one of the most important things for this industry is direct bookings. And I am going to explain why. It's not so much the direct bookings themselves as to the behavior that results in more direct bookings. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that a channel, and when we built this channel, when we started this channel, we had said something very, very specific. We said, we want to be traveler acquisition. That's what we want to do. So if we can be a traveler acquisition tool for property managers and allow them the opportunity to then take that traveler and bring it back direct the next time, that would make us an incredibly valuable tool for the property manager, right? Now, why is it really important what that behavior is? Now, if property managers start to think under, and I'm sure most of you do already, but if the thought is, well, this traveler that came from Whimstay, whether it's Whimstay or Airbnb or Vrbo or whatever, this is an opportunity to bring this traveler back direct next time. What it's going to do is it's going to make a focus on, put a focus on hospitality. What do we as an industry have that no other hospitality or no other lodging part of travel has? And that is unique to our locale, right? So many different things that we can do as property managers, as owners, to make that guest feel special, and then make the decision next time, if they decide to go to that area, to go to you. And if they don't go to you, they will decide to go to another property manager. And what this does is it just increases the viability that those travelers will not go back to a hotel next time, right? But what they'll start to do is start to go to vacation rentals. And it's that kind of, I forget what, it's like the rising boat rises tides, or rising tide rises all boats, or whatever it is. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So it's like, if we can start to really focus on that hospitality and think about where you are. I mean, if I know David Jacoby's got a place in San Francisco, right? And I've been to that place. It's beautiful. And it's got all these great little San Francisco touches, right? Always, think about adding, if you can, some all boats rise with the tide, right? Katie, we do not, Whimstay does not integrate with ResNexus. So sorry. All boats rise with the tide. Thank you, Jerry. So, things like if you can add local coffee, right? If you can add a local IPA and put that into the fridge, something like that, those types of things, right? And then the hospitality piece, keeping it nice and clean and all that stuff. I don't need to tell you guys this. We do integrate with Streamline, Nicholas. Yes, we do. I don't need to tell you guys all that stuff, but I do think it's such an important part of this industry. So anyways, that was a little tangent. In parallel with dynamic pricing, optimize distribution channels. That's a really important thing to talk about. Dynamic pricing tools, there are so many really, really good ones out there. And I will say that it's an incredibly important tool to have. It's really important to have some type of dynamic pricing tool. The thing is, in and of itself, on an island, it's only really telling half the story, right? You have to be able to drive people to that discount. Otherwise, what are you really doing? You could have the greatest discount of all time. Quite literally, objectively, this algorithm on one of these great, dynamic pricing tools. They put together some algorithm that takes season and weather and who's coming and who's not and all this kind of stuff. And then they give you this amazing discount, right? Well, if nobody's getting eyes on that discount, what the heck's the point? You've got this gorgeous diamond that's buried 15 feet underground. The idea is you got to start driving people to that discount. That's why Whimstay, and that's why we built this thing. I mean, a really short story is our co-founder, Ben, and I, when we started this company, one of the reasons why was because he had a bunch of properties that were not getting sold last minute, and he had a discount on it. And he thought, well, there's no strategy. The only strategy really to drive people to this discount is hope. I have to hope that people see this discount. And hope, as we all know, ain't a good strategy, right? So optimize distribution channels. Get yourself out in front of as many eyeballs as you possibly can. Really, really cool. Analyze unbooked nights and their value. So if you got a revenue manager, they love nerding out on this stuff. Let me tell you that right now. They love looking at these numbers and diving in a little bit and identifying controllable factors and adjust way above my head, way above my head. You put numbers in my face, I start panicking. But the ability to kind of analyze these unbooked nights and seeing what their value is and then being able to control and adjust from there, really, really important stuff. So here's some last minute booking trends. So as the industry has seen seeing a bit of a, as I mentioned before, a bit of a valley, right? So our Whimstay bookings are up 377% in Q2 versus Q2 last year, and that's Q2 to date. We're up about 270% year to date. Our May bookings are up 417% versus May of last year, 33% higher than our previous largest booking month. And right now we are on pace to 2x our highest month ever right now. So we're doing quite well. Over 40% of all U.S. bookings, they were made 0 to 14 days prior to arrival, 31% 0 to 7, and 11% 8 to 14 days, right? So 59% 15 plus days prior to arrival. Troy asks, what specific dynamic pricing tools are you referring to? Good question, Troy. So the bigger ones, Beyond Pricing, Price Labs, Wheelhouse, we love a lot. Looks like Frank is replying. So yeah, so there are a lot of really good ones with really smart people running them. Back to those last minute booking trends. So 35% of all 2022 bookings were made 7 days prior to arrival. So why does this matter? Over 40% of bookings made 14 days out or less. You need a strategy to capture last minute guests. You just do. It's too big of a piece of the pie to not have a specific strategy. I saw tons of little saddy face emojis out there. And so need a strategy to capture these last minute guests. Booking pace is down. Booking windows are squeezed, right? So how do we do that? Promo pricing, always really good. Be prepared. You know, we have at Whimstay, there's a 24-hour blackout, right? Because we understand housekeeping can be tough, but be prepared for bookings that are coming in 24 hours. Gap filling strategies like adding Whimstay, right? Like blasting guests, which I think I get to in the next slide. Oh no, you can get it right there. Blast past guests. Look at that. And then demand-based pricing versus seasonal pricing. A lot of that stuff gets done automatically if you're looking at Price Labs, Beyond Pricing, Wheelhouse, things like that. So cool. More last week.
Real quick, sorry, Alex.
Yeah, Frank, talk to me.
I know when we chatted, we had an internal demo with Whimstay, and I forget what the strategy was, or if you do accept it, but can a property manager book beyond that, like that 21 day, like that?
Yes, they can. Window? Very good question. Yes, they can. So we've got a 180-day window total. That 21-day window is a specific for a couple of things. Number one, for the last minute discount that we'll put on there. That's going to be up to you. It's going to be your choice what that discount is, right? So that 21-day discount. Also in that 21-day window, all sales are final, right? So there is no refunds. From that day 22 to day 180, that's just whatever price you would normally push for those dates. And the cancellation policy is just going to follow whatever the property manager's cancellation policy is for that time period. Does that make sense? Frank, did that answer it? Kind of.
I did the thumbs up emoji.
Look at you. Look at you.
And then we actually, that was my next question. Gasimu, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but does Whimstay work globally? He's based in the UK.
Good question. So currently we are in the United States. Obviously, we are in Canada. We are in Mexico and parts of Latin America. We are opening up our markets next in Europe. So obviously the UK, Gosimo, Europe, and Asia and Australia. So we are, we don't know what the timeline is on that, but it's, we're working on it because we understand it's a really important, those are obviously very important markets for us to be in. So sooner rather than later is really my best answer on that.
And since we're on that topic, someone earlier asked the question about the average, let me see if I can find it. What are the average discounts for 15 days out, 30 days out, and 45 days out? And and then this is my question, but have you found that other length of stay strategies work a little better than the others?
Yeah.
And of course it depends on the market, right?
It does. I was just going to say, it really does depend on the market, right? I mean, an urban market's going to be vastly different than a ski, right? And for a number of different, business travel versus, I'm in San Francisco on a Wednesday and it dumped in Tahoe on Friday. So I'm deciding to drive up, but I got to be back at work on Monday and things like that, right? So there's all those types of things. And so that's always going to vary by market. And then the discount is a great question. So our average discount is 17%, 1.7. That's the average discount. And so what we find is, and that's really, that's what we do. Now, you don't have to have a 17% discount. A lot of folks have these dynamic pricing tools, and those are already have a pretty significant discount on them, right? So we don't want to add 17% when you've already got a dynamic pricing tool and it's getting you down to 30%. We don't want to add another 17% on that. That's absurd. So, we understand that, right? So we'll do a much lower discount on that. Or if you wanted to, we could do, a zero discount. What's really important from the Whimstay's perspective is that we're lowest of the other channels, right? So that we're lower than Booking, lower than Airbnb, and lower than Vrbo. And the reason why is because, and this is the early behavior we're seeing from travelers. Travelers are coming to us and booking because they know that they're going to get an awesome last minute deal with us, right? Now that is driving people to it. It's also, we are seeing making decisions on whether they're going to go on the vacation or not. So that's the other thing that we didn't really expect was going to happen. So, so folks are not even thinking about going on vacation. They're saying, well, let's go to Whimstay and see what's going on in Panama City Beach this week, right? And then they're saying, oh, well, that's a good deal. And so then they're going ahead and doing it. So it's, we've got a name for it. I forget. Our head of marketing loves it. I forget what it is exactly. But so that's a big deal too. So, yeah.
Okay. And now one more question. The percentage, you said it was 17%.
Yes.
Is there like a max that you do?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I think if someone comes in and say, we want to do a 50% discount, we'll probably say, yeah, that's a little too much, Okay.
So you provide guidance and stuff.
We'll definitely provide guidance. What's going to happen is you're going to have an account manager, and that account manager is going to be very sort of understand exactly what's going on in that territory and know what's working and what's not. And if it's, if it's an astronomically high discount, it's going to say, you know what, your margins are thin enough as they are. Let's put this at this, and it's going to be able to sell at a good price.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then same day bookings. I'm sure like a same day booking.
So we have a default blackout, 24-hour blackout. But
okay.
Yeah, that defaults to that. But if you want to do same days, we can absolutely unblack that out for you. And if you want to do a 48-hour or even 72-hour blackout, we can do that too.
Awesome. Thanks.
Got it, dude. Lead time by destination type. Oh, this is really important. This is a really important part. So guests are still looking decent length of stay. So this is one of my favorite things that we're starting to see happen right now. So our average booking window right now is about 7 nights, 7.5 nights. That's our average booking window. So they're booking in that day, and the average length of stay is 5 nights. So they are not booking 7 nights out and staying for 1 night. They're booking 7 nights out and they're staying for 5 days. So that is really exciting, we think. This is not going to be just some throwaway gap night a lot of this is going to be, let's fill those gap nights, but it's also, hey, we need to fill some windows. We need to fill some weekends that normally would be filled, right? So we're really excited about that. And then lead time by destination. So looking at that 0 to 7 day lead time, 26% ski and mountain is that's 0 to 7, beach 26%, and urban 35%. I think I cover basically everything in ski, mountain, beach, and urban there. Ski, mountain, lake is also kind of in that ski, mountain category. So, and then last minute trends, how to address those. Again, dynamic gap filling strategy, like we talked about before. Higher rates farther out, and then decrease it as needed. Which, if you've got one of those nice dynamic pricing tools, it'll automatically do that stuff for you. We had a really exciting partnership happen. It started in London about a year ago. They approached us. Really, really excited about it. It's really been a good one. And it's an honor for this massive company to see the value in what we're doing and partner with it. But really what it does is it just integrates Whimstay listings into Google travel search function. So I like to say that when you've got someone who's searching on Google, for last minute vacation rentals in, let's say, Lake Tahoe, then the Whimstay listing is going to jump up. So it's really, really cool, and they are supporting us in a big way. Jerry, looks like Jerry, you're going to jump off. So I'm going to actually just say quickly is rates and how to sign up with Whimstay. I'll just bring that up right now, if you guys don't mind. Right, Frank, you good with that?
Yeah, sorry, it takes me a while to turn my mic on.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
We definitely. Yeah.
I think I've gone enough into the Google Whimstay partnership. It's a groovy one. We're into it. I love it. I'll go farther into it if we have a personal conversation. Our fees are 5%. So that's what our commission is. We think that's pretty competitive. So it's a 5% commission. And then getting started is flipping us on in Hostfully, have a 10-minute conversation with someone on the sales side just to get that, make sure everything is groovy and see what kind of discount you want. After that, it's a pass off. Oh, and an agreement, right? Send out an agreement your way. Pretty boilerplate. And then at that point, connect you with your dedicated account manager. As I mentioned, you got a dedicated account manager, and then start the onboarding process, which is a grand total of 15 minutes. 1-5. So that's that. Here's some current partners. So here's a cool thing about the industry. So 80% of this industry is property managers with 20 properties or below. So that is the heart and soul of this industry, are those, and that's always a sweet spot, right? I mean, 20 properties is generally kind of a nice place to be, and so that's about 80% of the industry. And then about 5% of the industry has about 200 or more, and then about 1% has 500 or more. So we've got about 700, 800 property managers on our platform right now. These are some of the bigger ones, but a large majority of the of our partners are in that sort of 50 or below space. Which so it's always, but it's always kind of, it's a little like, I don't know. These big guys trust us, so you should too, or something.
Yeah, those stats are actually pretty impressive. I never knew the exact number on that.
Yeah, they're cool. There's a lot of interesting stats that can read. So
yeah. And now, Alex, how do you choose which vacation rentals are on Whimstay? Is there like a vetting process, or like how does that work?
No. So no. So right now, let me say this. So right now, we only take professionally managed properties, right? So we can only take a property that is connected to a PMS, a property management software that we are connected to, i.e. Hostfully. We do not right now take what we call RBOs, which are the individual owners who've got 1 or 2 or 3 properties. We are, however, building a host portal to make that happen, which we hope is going to be around Q3 or Q4. And then that'll allow individual hosts to be able to just go ahead and self-serve and get onto the platform. But right now, just professionally managed. And that's really the only thing that's important to us is, can you connect to us through a software system? If you can, we are good to go. So
that's awesome.
Yes. I see Maria's question. I'm going to answer this one really quick. What pay platform is used with Whimstay? So what we do, how we pay out. So Whimstay is merchant of record. How we pay out is we will wire everything to you via ACH directly into your bank account. So we use Stripe, but you don't have to use Stripe or do anything like that. Our Stripe account will ACH directly into your bank account, 0 to 24 hours after check-in.
Awesome.
Yep. By the way, that's it. I'm done. In case
that's it. Good.
In case the contact us sheet didn't tell you guys that. So
yeah. And then there are some questions. I guess we can just go through. You did a great job kind of answering all of them that came up. Maria did have a follow-up to hers. Is what is the charge fee to use Stripe?
So
is it the same for you as like their processing fee?
Yes. So you wouldn't be using Stripe, Maria, but any charge fee on Stripe, we're taking the hit on that. So we're taking the hit on any fees on Stripe and any credit card fees. So that's not anything you would worry about. The only thing you would have to provide if you wanted to work with us is your banking information, so we can go ahead and ACH that sucker to you. But don't worry about charge fees or credit card fees. That's all on us.
That's awesome. Where else was there? Oh, and some clarification from John. Your website said all properties are managed.
Yeah. So my guess is, I don't know where that is, but my guess is that means that professionally managed. So that means that right now, currently, we are only taking property or anybody that's got a software system. So that's how we kind of classify it as a property manager, quote. I'm using air quotes, but you can't see me, so just trust that I'm using air quotes. Property manager, but
I'll do it on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Yeah. But basically, that just means anybody that's using a software system, right? So you don't have to be a property manager. You could have 2 properties and just be doing your thing, but you're using Hostfully. That we can do. That we can do. That we do a lot.
Awesome. Good. And then from Andrea, could you please confirm what are the payment methods travelers can use through your platform?
Credit card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm assuming that's for Whimstay.
Yes.
With Hostfully, we can set up a demo and talk about that.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that was for you. He had a conversation with a rep on your team. He followed all the steps to sync Hostfully with Whimstay, but the rep told him she's not able to see the properties or his company's information. Any idea why it's not showing up on your side? Based on your experience, I'm sure you might have to dig a little deeper for that answer. Alex.
I'm not sure who that is. Is there any?
Yeah, it's Andrea Espinoza.
Andrea Espinoza, can you do me a huge favor? And you see my email is right there, alex@whimstay.com. Would you mind emailing me and we can get to the bottom of that and figure out what's going on? And what I'll do is just connect you with your account manager and we'll figure out what's going on and get that fixed.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Alex. And then I responded to you, Andrea, but we're also going to be sending out a follow-up email with all of our contact information. So if you don't get it now, you'll definitely get it shortly. And then there's been a few questions with integrations. I don't mind asking those. Definitely don't want to skirt around them. Do you integrate with Think reservations?
We do not.
Okay. All right. That was from Mark. Mark, again, if you do need an integration, we'll be more than happy to talk to you about Hostfully. I did see one here about, it says that you're integrated with Guesty, but not Guesty for hosts. Or there's a question about Guesty for host integration.
Yeah, we are integrated with Guesty for host, yeah.
Okay, cool. Streamline.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And last, ResNexus. No, perfect. Didn't want to be.
We are integrated with Hostfully. Did I mention that?
Yes, exactly. No, I know we are. Didn't want to side skirt around those questions.
That was valiant of you, my friend.
Yeah. Avivo. Keep it coming, guys. Why not?
Avivo, we are in the integration process right now. So.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, y'all got it going. Good for Whimstay. And then what advertising do you currently have to build exposure to your channel?
That's a really great question. Yeah. So we put our marketing dollars right now towards, so the number one, so a very good driver for us is the Google, which is unpaid. That's driving a lot of folks. In addition to that, we have marketing assets, both earned and unearned. On the unearned side, through all the social medias, so Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and all that stuff. We have both still and also video as well. So you know how weird and creepy things are nowadays. Just have your Instagram on and say last minute vacation rentals. And I'm pretty sure one of our ads will pop up at some point.
Yeah. And then that actually bringing it up reminded me about reviews.
Yes.
Guests, they can, like previous guests can review your property and rate your property?
We are in the process right now of building out a review API. The way that we're currently doing it is if the reviews are in the PMS, then we will consume it. If the reviews are not in the PMS, then we won't consume it. So in order for us to consume reviews, they have to be into the PMS. We are building a review API right now.
Wonderful. Michael also asked if we can provide a list of what channel managers that you integrate with. Yeah, Michael, feel free, shoot Alex an email at alex@whimstay.com and he'll send you all that information.
Yep.
But Hostfully is my choice for sure. I think that's all the questions we have. Bear with me, guys. There were a ton that came through. I just want to make sure that we got all of them. I think that's everything. What paid platform? We did that one. Yeah, I think we got all of them. And guys, if there was a question we didn't answer, feel free to ask it again, because there were a lot that came through, so I don't want to miss out on any. All right, let's see.
Frank,
so reviews.
The review done and then a Whimstay show up in Hostfully at Maria's asking.
Oh, so reviews done on Whimstay show up on Hostfully.
Yeah.
The answer to that's yes, right, Alex?
Say that again. Sorry.
The reviews done on Whimstay show up in Hostfully.
Yes, or the review. Yes.
Or vice versa, right?
Vice versa. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I think that's all the questions. Aaron, do you have any questions? Did you see any? Am I missing some? I hate to miss any.
Let me check.
I have a general question. I mean, we've got a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
And I forgot to kind of ask this. I think, and I mentioned this before, utilizing channels like Whimstay, really important for direct bookings. And again, I think that being able to utilize these channels for that reason specifically is really a good idea, not only for the industry, for the health of the industry, but for all of us. Let me ask this question. How many of you on here, let's say 30%, no, let's say 50% of or below, 50% or below of your bookings are direct? Do the little emoji thing.
50% or below.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Actually, Aaron, do you mind putting that poll together real quick?
Yeah, will do.
Yeah. How many of your reservations are direct? 50% or below.
Yeah. So cool stuff.
That's a good question, Alex.
I just think it's, a large percentage of our travelers, and this number changes all the time, so I don't want to give you a false number, but so I'm going to say a large percentage have never booked a vacation rental before, right? Yeah. So again, these are adding incremental travelers, incremental guests to kind of pump these new folks in. And I think I mentioned this before. One of the things that we do is we give all of the travelers' information fully unencrypted. So once you get a booking from Whimstay, the way it'll work is you'll get notification in Hostfully, your PMS. You'll then receive an email. You'll receive an email from us with all the travelers' information fully unencrypted. So at that point, you go ahead and start your marketing to that traveler, and try and bring them back a second time. So these types of things are, I just think, really, really, really important and really cool. I think when the industry, there was a little bit of a time, a month and maybe a year ago or so, where it was channels and OTAs versus direct. No, that's not the way it should be. These things should be working together in tandem. These are all just tools to put into your quiver to get the most amount of bookings that you possibly can, to make your owners happy, to make you happy, so you can go buy trips to Hawaii or whatever it is the heck you want to do with your money. And so,
and I think that's what really makes Whimstay successful, is your understanding of the property manager. You're not just thinking about OTAs and how it's going to benefit OTAs and how you're going to get commission and make money. You're actually thinking about longevity of your client and of the property management.
I just think
management company.
I think it's really important for the health of the industry. I mean, we're all in this industry. We all want this industry to thrive. It's a great industry. We provide a really unique thing for people, you know? And so I think we're on the precipice of a golden age in this industry. I really honestly mean that.
Yeah, I think we're literally at the tip of the iceberg right now.
We really, really, really are. And so I think we're in a really good spot, but we're also at a critical spot. We're also at a really, really critical spot as an industry where we need to be special, and we need to be different, and we need to take advantage of the opportunities that we're given right now. And if we do, and I think we will, if we do, I think, the world is our oyster, man. We're going to take over. We are going to take over hotels. I am telling you, I think that's going to happen. So, and we're close. So anyway.
For sure. And we did just get the responses for how many of your reservations are direct. We asked everyone less than 25, more than 50%, less than 50%. Less than 25%, 72% of our attendees have less than 25% of their direct bookings, which is not surprising at all.
I think that's normal. I think it's normal.
Yeah. I think the more than 50%, there were 4 individuals, so 15% of the
that's
people.
Great. I mean, that's an outlier,
It really is. Mm-hmm.
That's an outlier. And so there's, the beauty of these numbers is that there's room to grow, right? And so that 25%, that's good. That's probably that's average. That's industry average, I would say. And so there's room to grow, and growth is good because it requires, I think maybe sometimes getting out of your comfort zone or doing things that maybe haven't been done before, and doing those types and adding different things to your distribution strategy, like Whimstay, and doing shameless and doing that kind of stuff. So,
Alex, one quick question. Do you think that Google Vacation Rental is going to disrupt some of the direct booking strategies right now?
Say that again.
Like Google Vacation Rental is going to disrupt some of those percentage that we're seeing on direct bookings?
No, because here's how Whimstay is going to help. The way that Whimstay is going to help is we're going to drive a traveler to you guys, right? A traveler that didn't know who you were or where you had been before. And a lot of times they're going to find us and you via that partnership with Google. Once we pass that traveler to you, it's going to be up to the property manager to make their magic happen, have their beautiful home, do whatever it is they do, hospitality, cleanliness, all that kind of stuff, to bring them direct next time. And that's really the formula, I think, for success. So no, the Google partnership helps. It helps because it just drives new travelers, incremental travelers, and incremental bookings into your home.
Nice.
And into your business.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex.
That's awesome. Thank you, Alex. And again, really so many great takeaways from today's webinar. So again, thank you, Alex, for taking the time to speak with us, for sharing your vast knowledge of the industry and the last minute strategies to increase the revenue. So all this stuff was super, super informative. For those of you that are listening, Aaron posted a link with more information about Hostfully and Whimstay's integration. Again, I think when I talk about Whimstay during my demos, I think Whimstay gets the most like oohs out of all my prospects. So everyone's really excited about the last minute strategy, discounts, optimizing your revenue that way, generating more revenue. Again, if you're overwhelmed by the wealth of information you've just received, just feel free, reach out to me directly, reach out to Aaron, to Alex. Again, you will be receiving more information. You will be receiving a recording of this webinar, so you can have it on file to access whenever you like. So again, hope you all learned something new today. I know I did. And today we'll be using it to scale and generate more revenue for you, your portfolio, and your company. So thank you all for taking the time. Again,
Thanks,
we really
guys.
appreciate it.
Everyone here is awesome.
Thanks. All right. Looking forward to getting some emails from everyone. Thanks again. Have a great remainder to your week and an even better weekend.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.